What's going on, guys? And today's going to be our first video where I basically talk about a very existential and disturbing topic to me, I guess you could say. And it's to do with the Stephen King novel, The Jaunt. Basically, a jaunt, or the jaunt, is the idea of going through a portal, a very crude and very primitive portal technology in comparison to other sci-fi media. And this has solved all problems on Earth, like oil, travel costs, stuff like that. But there is one problem with the jaunt. When you go through, if you go through a wake, your consciousness experiences billions of years, even though it only takes up to like 56 milliseconds to go through, or something like that. And so, over that time, your consciousness just goes on and on and on and on. And the story basically takes place, it's a father telling his son and daughter about it. His son has always been very curious. You may know where this is going. And so the original scientist allegedly went insane and became a public figure after his invention. He first tested on rats, which would come through mostly insane. A few of them would most of them would come through dead. But a few of them would come through as these sort of husks and then would die shortly or later on. Some of them would be very aggressive. Some of them, I think, would be mutilated, if I remember correctly. So yeah, very terrifying stuff. He tries it on a goldfish, one of the goldfish dies, one of them is swimming around completely normally. And from then on, it's very grey, the details of this world. And the invention changes. So the dad is telling his kids about this, and trying not to scare them at the same time, because they're just about to go on a jaunt. A lot of people chicken out because of how terrifying it is. But they're going to be going to Mars, basically, which they need to go to, apparently for oil and water, because water has become scarce, I guess because of pollution or something, climate change and just chemicals. It does kind of take an alternate timeline. The jaunt was discovered in the 90s, or at least was corporatized and marketed by then. So it's a rather popular thing. Instead of traveling across the universe, people just use a jaunt. They just send up a little robot, and then it'll place down a jaunt, and that'll be the way astronauts go through. And so they had this new amazing revolutionary travel system, and as I said before, if you're awake and go through, you will basically experience an eternity. And that's really terrifying. When they tested it on human patients, the human patients would usually not be very sane already and would come through dead, insane, and apparently one specific, the patient who was in there for billions and billions of years to them, but only a few seconds to everyone else, or a second, said it's an eternity in there. This line was of course used in Nemesis Blue, the amazing fan animation of a TF2 story, which is just so genius. It's about the respawn machine, but that's not the point. You're probably seeing some TF2 gameplay right now. So, yeah. Basically, the son is very curious, so he holds his breath when he's going through. He doesn't, drink the gas or whatever. And so he goes through billions and billions of years, and there's just this amazing quote here. How long alone with your thoughts in an endless field of white? And then, when a billion eternities have passed, the crashing return of light and form and body. Who wouldn't go insane? Who wouldn't go insane? And that's just one of the many morbid quotes. And so yeah, the guy goes through, he hears cries and screams in the other room, and he just starts screaming, because he sees his son there, and all his son is saying is, "It's longer than you think. It's longer than you think, Dad. It's longer than you think." And it's one of the most disturbing... I love Stephen King. It's one of the most disturbing books I've ever... I listened to it, but read. And I really had to share this. Because it's really fascinating to me, the idea that the human mind runs out of new thoughts, just stuck in that vacuum forever. That child had lived thousands of lifetimes alone. I wonder how long it took for him to break. Just like with those rats and mice or whatever. It's such a terrifying concept, And I feel like it sort of comes back to this point of immortality. How long would it be before the human mind just completely breaks down? And another fascinating concept, basically. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching this interesting subject. The Jaunt is one of the best books ever. Listen to it, it's a short story, it's only like 30 minutes long if you want to read it, I bet. And I'll be doing more existential sci-fi shit like this in the future. So goodbye for now.